Hello everyone, welcome back to K Sports Sunday. I'm Jason. Alongside me is Joey, and joining us now is Andrew and Dylan. How are you guys doing today?
Good, thank you.
That's good. So the Red Sox were playing the Detroit Tigers today, and they lost 7-5, perhaps on a disputed call. Daniel Nava looked like he really should have caught a ball in right field, I believe, and it really did look like he did. He dropped it. It looked like it was while he was transferring the ball from his glove to his throwing hand, but the umpire said that he did not have control of it. Looking at the replay, it certainly did look like he had control of it. The Tigers went on to score 3 runs in that inning, which was the bottom half of the 8th inning, and Smekton went on to lose 7-5. I'll start with you, Dylan. What are your thoughts on the game today?
Yeah, I mean, the Tigers, they had a big inning, like 8th inning, I think, when they scored those runs to take the lead. But yeah, the Red Sox, they had their chance. They just didn't do it. They just couldn't get it done. And yeah, I think I actually do agree with you that should have been called a catch.
And even John Farrell, you saw him out there arguing. Everyone, even the announcers on TV, thought that should have been a catch. So the umps may have made the wrong call, may have cost the Red Sox a game, but they had their chances. They could have won.
Yeah. Well, let me just state the obvious. It seems like this season in the MLB, the umps make more headlines than even the players or managers. It seems like the umpiring calls are getting worse and worse, that they keep blowing it over and over, and yet they've increased it with instant replay. So I gotta ask, Dylan, do you think the MLB should go more into this?
Yeah, I mean, football definitely needs the biggest instant replay, but yeah, baseball, some of these calls are just terrible. I don't think they should be instant replay balls and strikes, but I think it should be like NFL, the coach gets like a challenge flag, and if he really disagrees with the call, then he should be able to throw the challenge flag. He should get like 2 times a game.
Yeah, and he wouldn't get ejected for arguing his point, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think the issue with that is that baseball is already a very slow sport. I mean, you can have, maybe 2 pitches per minute, depending on the pitcher and whether it's a foul ball or not. So I think the MLB is concerned with the fans that they will not be as interested if there are challenge flags. And I just want to ask you guys about the Red Sox starting pitching staff. Clay Buchholz is injured. He was supposed to make his next start on Tuesday. That's not going to happen. He will need to go on a rehab assignment, probably will be out for at least the next 2 weeks. And John Lester has just completely fallen apart, struggling against the Orioles, 9 hits and 5 runs. So the other half, we saw Dubront today. He pitched well, as well as Ryan Dempsey, who has pitched well. So how do you guys think overall this pitching staff has performed?
I think the starting pitching has done well enough without Buchholz and Lester not performing, but it's the bullpen. The bullpen has to step up. Andrew Bailey was awful. He couldn't even throw strikes. He was trying to throw curveballs and sliders, and they were missing way wide. So, in my opinion, it's the bullpen that needs help.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's the bullpen. And the bullpen's, in my opinion, is the most important thing. But even if you have good starting pitching, that the bullpen can't close the game, then it doesn't really matter with the starting pitch. Then the starting pitching doesn't have to be can still be good, and if bullpen blows, they still lose the game. So starting pitching still should be good. Their starting pitching is decent, but you also need a bullpen to really be solid, and they're not right now.
Well, basically the Red Sox are being saved by 2 factors. One, they're getting a lot of run support, and those runs are going to compile. I mean, the starting pitchers are doing great with their allowing earned run average, and you just think that the offense should be helping them, and they are. Second is along with the bullpen, but you saw the controversy over the past weekend, Andrew Bailey blowing another save. So I think along with the relievers, they need to get a firm, solid closer, and that's what they see in Koji Uehara. And from the Red Sox, we go to Jason with our Mets report.
Yeah, so this is a Mets team that really, for the first 2.5 months of the season, I'd say averaged about 1.5 runs per game, other than an 11-run outburst on opening day against San Diego at home. And then they had a 5-game winning streak, including they swept the Yankees in two-game home-and-home series, and then kind of got swept by the Marlins twice, which led to the demotion of Ike Davis, who was hitting 161. They bring up Josh Satine, hasn't done much. David Wright's been hitting 306, and in the past 2 games they scored 15 runs, including an 8-0 win today. Matt Harvey, 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts to earn his 7th win of the season. David Wright was 4 for 5 with a home run, and 2 RBIs. And Eric Young Jr., who they just brought up, he's been hitting 258. He's taken up the role of leadoff spot with the injury of Ruben Tejada. He's been hitting 3 for 4. He hit 3 for 4 with 2 runs and an RBI today. And just an injury update, Lucas Duda is injured, so now Eric Young will presumably stay in left field, with also Marlon Byrd playing center field.
Well, thank you very much, Jason, and I hope your Mets start doing good. And while we're on the topic of baseball and success, it seems like a lot of divisions are being very close, but the closest one is the AL East. It actually got closer this past week because the Blue Jays currently, right now, including today, are on an 11-game winning streak. So I gotta ask you, Dylan, are the Sox in trouble if the Blue Jays keep this up?
Yeah, I mean, the Blue Jays are going to play the Red Sox again, like, many times. So, yeah, the Blue Jays basically bought, like, the league, a lot of the players in the league, so their payroll's very high. A lot of the key players, Jose Reyes, not really playing right now, but they're still got a lot of talent on the team. But same with the Marlins last year. They had a big payroll, so it seemed like the Blue Jays would kind of be the same team as the Marlins, and it started out like that in the beginning of the season. But recently they've been playing so well that the Blue Jays are right back in it, and yeah, it could give any of the teams trouble. No matter, every team could give any team trouble.
All right, and also their pitching is okay. But it's their hitting. Jose Bautista, he saved them yesterday with a walk-off home run in the bottom of the 9th. And even without Jose Reyes, they have the players to make it a run for the World Series. And seeing as they're only currently, I think, 5 games behind.
5.5.
5.5 games behind the lead in the AL East, they have a chance to make this a very interesting run to the playoffs.
I just want to ask, do you think they're going to be a playoff team this year?
I'm not sure, and I'd actually like to correct myself. I forgot that because the Red Sox lost, Andrew was correct. It is now a 5-game lead for the Red Sox over the Blue Jays, who I believe are now in 4th place. And getting back to your question, Dylan, I don't know, because it's such a tight AL East. But can the Orioles' hitting continue? How long will John Lester's woes continue? I mean, it's too long of a season right now to really think about that. So I'm not really sure. It's hard to tell.
All right, well, we'll see how that plays out. And now we'll go to the NBA, as this past week we crowned a new champion. Well, not really new. The Miami Heat repeated for the 2nd year in a row, became champions. Dwayne Wade gets his 3rd championship ring, while LeBron James and Chris Bosh get their 2nd. It was a very close series, went 7 games, and the Spurs almost had it. So I believe Andrew has some feelings about the Heat. So Andrew, what do you think of the Heat's title win?
The Heat's title win, it was pretty much a one-man show. LeBron James was really the only player out there who was playing well. Chris Bosh was a non-factor. He was struggling through the series, and Dwayne Wade, with his swollen knee, wasn't really a factor either. And now LeBron, he's won his 2nd ring. He's now going to become even more egotistical. He's going to be now thinking even more, I am the best. I am better than Jordan, and really, no one cares. No one cares about the NBA Finals. Their Game 7 rating was lower than the Game 3 rating of the NHL playoffs in Boston. So people want action. They don't want, oh, there's LeBron hitting more shots and more shots and more shots and not passing at all. But they want hitting and speed.
Game 7 was the second most watched NBA Finals game in history or something like that, or second most watched program on ABC. So I don't know that I would say that people don't care about basketball. I think maybe they care about hockey more than basketball, but I do still think people care about basketball. But the fact is, the Heat were lucky to win this championship. I mean, it took a Kawhi Leonard missed free throw and a Ray Allen desperation three, pretty much, for them to win Game 6. And then they needed to score the last 5 points in the fourth quarter for them to win Game 7.
Yeah, the Heat though, it was quite anytime it's a 7-game series, it always creates some excitement. Yeah, maybe Game 7 might have not been the best game. I can see why the ratings could have been lower, but still, Game 6, that was a great game. And also, any kind of 7-game series, especially when you're playing, plus it's like finals, it's quite something. You know, normally Game 7 finals doesn't normally happen. It can, but last few years it hasn't really happened. And also, you're gonna not like this, but I'm gonna have to say I exactly agree with Stephen A. Smith about how valuable Ray Allen is, because Ray Allen hitting that three. Yes, he wasn't a star player on the team. He only averaged like around 10 points a game during the regular season. But, you know, if they didn't have Ray Allen on the team, I don't think they'd probably win.
Without Ray Allen, they still have a legitimate chance to win the NBA championship.
Game 6, though, and also, I know Tim Duncan.
That's one game.
I know that Tim Duncan.
The entire season.
I know that
Ray Allen has made a difference.
I know that Tim Duncan.
Stephen A. Smith is Dylan's new favorite sportscaster.
Wait, sorry, I know that but the thing is, he made the three, plus it was a tough three to make. He goes beyond the arc, makes the three, and it's like an awesome shot. Yeah, I know, but think about it. They wouldn't have won the NBA championship if it wasn't for Ray Allen. And Ray Allen, so he was that valuable.
Yeah, and so Stephen A. Smith is Dylan's new favorite sportscaster. So this is the slow sports segment. We talked about baseball. Now I'll give it to Joe for some soccer.
Well, before we break out into an all-out fist fight over Stephen A. Smith, we'll transition to soccer, and we'll throw it over to Andrew, who's got a soccer report.